Oh. What the fuck is going on?
Do you know where you are?
I'm assuming it's one of those night terrors I'm always banging on about?
Yes, a nightmare. A terrifying look into your own shattered psyche. Every time we break the boundaries of human ability, we become more frequent.
Yeah, I know that. I've been here like every night for the past 6 months, so I'm pretty used to it right now. It's actually pretty routine. So, do you think we could speed this up a little bit? I'd like to get at least some REM sleep before you start vomiting blood or whatever.
I am not here to torment you with vile acts tonight.
Oh yeah? What are you just not feeling up to the spooks tonight?
No. I have come to the conclusion that you are too detached from your humanity to express your fears bodily. I now know that in order to truly break you, I must confront you with something you claim to love, but you are secretly terrified of. Only that will break what is left in your spirit.
Yeah, and what would this be? Beetles under my fingernails, or getting crushed by an overweight panda bear? Is it gastroenteritis? Like, I don't really care. Just knock out whatever you need to do and just let me sleep.
What you fear is not physical. What you fear is something that is beyond your understanding. Something that you, who you claim to have all the infinite knowledge in the world, could not even predict.
Yeah,
That is what you truly fear.
that's a little scary, maybe.
Therefore, I will take this opportunity to show you something you love, and I will watch it crumble away before you.
Something I love?
Yes, an animated movie. A stop-motion animated movie. A stop-motion animated movie made by your favorite animation company of all time. I will watch you weep as it falls away before you, and I will drink your tears of sorrow.
Alright, shut up. Let's just get this over with. So, what is this movie you'll say I love?
Do you remember back in middle school?
I try not to.
There was a book in the library there. A book that you found by pure chance one day when you were born. A book you read all at once, enthralled by its creepy imagery. Does this sound familiar?
Sorta. Yeah, but I mean, that was a long time ago. Like, what book are you talking about?
Coraline.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that now. So, are you saying I'm going to be afraid of the 2009 movie adaptation by Leica Studios?
That is what I'm saying.
But you know, it was nominated for Best Animated Picture at the Oscars. I mean, it can't really be all that bad, right?
Then prove it. Try to outsmart your own nightmare.
Alright, fine. I will. So, this movie's plot involves a young girl named Coraline Jones, who moves into an old house divided up into apartments in the middle of a monotonous yet creepy landscape. Coraline spends most of her time being bored and ignored by her distant, hardworking parents and falling victim to her new neighbor's nuclear quirkiness. While exploring her new house, Coraline stumbles upon a small door set in the wall of one of the rooms, and upon entering it finds a familiar, yet odd world behind it, populated by happier, more attentive versions of her family and neighbors who all have buttons for eyes. While this new world seems to be a dream come true for Coraline, she quickly finds that a sinister darkness lingers behind all the affection and happiness, and must break away from her doting other mother before she can be completely entrapped in her web of deceit. Am I supposed to be scared yet?
Yes, you are. But are you not?
No, actually, I'm not. I actually think this plot is pretty good in terms of a simple careful what you wish for story. While admittedly the plot is a little shaky and plotting at times, the overall scenario is an appealing, if slightly off-putting one, though some of the changes made to the plot progression compared to the original story by Neil Gaiman are a little strange and unneeded at times. But I'll get to that in a bit.
I'm sure you'll find the characters much more scary then. You're always going on about how much you hate bad characters.
Yeah, but I'm not scared of them. And besides, bitching about awful characters can be fun sometimes. Oh, and speaking of that, the protagonist is Coraline Jones, an 11-year-old girl with an adventurous spirit who desires attention from her distant parents. Coraline spends the majority of the movie getting shunted along from one plot point to the next, having little bearing on the events until the second half, where she takes it upon herself to unravel the nightmare that her other mother is ensnaring her in. I'll just say this right now, Coraline is not a very nice person. She acts rude and bratty for the most part, and is generally just a pain in the ass to watch. There's a distinct coldness behind her, which seems odd, as her aloofness seems like it should be beyond the capabilities of someone her age. Oh, but that's nothing compared to Coraline's parents, especially her mother, Mel Jones. She's basically the Ice Queen of Narnia in terms of her character. I swear all Coraline's mother does throughout the whole movie is answer directly, speak with a tongue sharper than a bobby pin being shoved up your urethra, and treat her daughter like a shit smear on the bottom of her shoe. I know that the justification for this is that she's busy, but damn, all she's doing is editing some gardening catalog, not transcribing a New Testament of Jesus Christ or something. Honestly, her doppelganger version, Other Mother, is much more interesting, just because she starts out so nice, loving, and smiley, but watching that facade crumble away as Coraline unravels her scheme is infinitely more enjoyable than hearing her actual mother spew the verbal equivalent of sulfuric acid at everything and everyone. As for the other characters, there's Wyborn Lovat, aka Wybe, a strange and nervous kid who's just sorta there, I guess. Wybe wasn't from the original story, and it definitely shows, as he feels very much like a character that got shoehorned in so Coraline wouldn't just be talking to herself for an hour and a half. Then there's a cat, who is just a regular cat until he starts talking, in which case he's just a regular cat that talks. Coraline's eccentric neighbor's Mr. Bobinski, an insanely proportioned man who runs a supposed jumping mouse circus. Miss Spink and Miss Forcible, two retired burlesque actresses who serve mostly as quirky plot drivers when Coraline can't figure shit out for herself. And Coraline's dad, who is just Coraline's dad and not a whole lot else. Design-wise, I like the characters and enjoy their movements and mannerisms, but I've got to say, between them all, there's this very apparent mean-spirited tone that makes them all more than a little uncomfortable to watch, though this is most apparent between Coraline and her real mother. So yeah, the characters aren't the best in the world, but so what? At this point, my pants remain distinctly unsoiled.
Oh, I'll wait.
Wait for what?
This is the part where you usually talk about the good things, isn't it? Well, I'll wait until you're done before truly breaking your spirit.
Hey, whatever helps you help me to not sleep at night. In a movie like this, I would think I wouldn't have to look very far to find good things, but I was actually somewhat disappointed in that regard. While I didn't have to whip out my electron microscope to find anything good to say, I found myself a bit anemic with the compliments. With all that said though, I'll state the obvious here. The stop-motion animation is great. While admittedly sometimes it looks like the shots have been slowed or the frame rate is dropping, those moments are rare, and the rest of the time the stop-motion is fluid and delightful, with the prerequisite gob of creepiness coughed up on top that always seems to come with these types of stop-motion films. The amount of stuff happening all at once in some scenes is quite jaw-dropping at times, and it definitely has an inventive edge to it that is very immersive and atmospheric at the best of times, and just pleasing to the eye at the worst of times. The set design alone is enough to carry the whole movie, from the detailed forest to the musty house interior to the attic-sized theater. Every aspect of it is a delight to watch.
Are you done?
I guess so.
Good. Now talk about the bad things and watch your soul shrivel up with despair.
Oh, I'm sure you just have a massive lady boner just thinking about all the shriveling I'm gonna be doing, right?
Do it now.
Fine. I already mentioned that the characters are about as civil to each other as a pit full of snakes, but that's not the whole problem. The root of the problem is that they're just boring. Oh, sure, they look well designed and make interesting movements, but none of what they say carries any weight at all. When they're not spouting clumsy exposition, they're just hopping from point to point, hoping you won't notice that most of what they're saying is just a whole lot of fluff, or just extracted verbatim from the original novel. And, speaking of the original novel, while I do enjoy the fact that they tried to stick to the initial story more so than many adaptations, it often feels like they didn't go quite far enough with the creep factor that stop-motion films are so good at encapsulating. After all, there's a scene in the book that takes place in a cellar that could have easily made child viewers shit enough bricks to build a skyscraper, but it was eschewed for reasons I can't really fathom. But whatever, that's a bit of a spurious point since I didn't write the damn thing. But in the end, after everything is said and done, what exactly is learned here? The overall theme of the movie seems to be saying, be careful what you wish for, but I honestly just don't see it that way. I see it as the story of a girl who acts spoiled and selfish with parents who neglect her, who then gets everything handed to her, and decides that she'd rather not have that, but then gets it anyway with virtually no repercussions. I don't know about you, but that seems like an odd moralistic standpoint. Okay, that's about it.
Feeling scared yet?
No, I don't understand. What am I supposed to be afraid of here?
Don't you see? Everything you have said till now has been pointless. It does not matter how hard you try, how much you say, or how vehemently you oppose or praise something, because you cannot change what already exists. Your life is empty.
Seriously? That's the whole point you're trying to make today?
Yes. Is that not good?
No, that doesn't even qualify as a solid spook, let alone a nightmare. I know what I'm saying isn't going to change what I'm talking about, but that's not why I do it.
Then why do you do it?
Because it's fun.
You mean to say that despite all your whining and complaining and bitching and acting like the victim, you're still
Having fun? Yes, absolutely. And none of your pseudo-psychological bullshit is going to change that fact. I will keep on complaining and praising and bitching and whining and moaning until there's nothing left to bitch and whine and moan and praise and talk about. So you can keep haunting my dreams for the rest of time. I won't care because nothing is going to stop me from doing what I love.
fair enough. I will leave you then. Enjoy your restless nights for the rest of time.
Oh, you can count on it. So I guess I should be waking up soon or something. But, in the meantime, I guess, yeah, so Coraline is a movie that sets out to sea with some great ambitions, and when it really gets going, they do start to shine through, but unfortunately that ship is bogged down with the weighty anchors of nasty characters and a meandering plot, and just a sneaking feeling that it's not going quite far enough with all the aspects you'd expect it to, especially in the creepiness factor. It's not a bad movie by any means, but it would definitely leave some of you feeling underwhelmed. Oh, there it goes. Alright, I think I'm waking up now. Oh yeah, waking up now. Definitely gonna be doing it. I give Coraline.
Two and a half eyes out of 5.
So, Coraline. Is it watchable? Absolutely, yeah, it is. But I mostly just say because of the beautiful set designs and the overall look of the movie. Is it enjoyable? Well, the character interactions don't really sit right with me, but I know everyone will have at least something they like in the movie. Is it memorable? Well, judging by how many people asked me to review this movie, I'm gonna say yes. It was definitely memorable enough to invade my dreams and give me a half-assed nightmare. So yeah, I guess it would be memorable. Okay? We good? Alright. Good night then. Want to stay up to date with the latest EyeofSol news? You can follow me on Twitter as well as on Facebook at twitter.com/EyeofSol299 and facebook.com/EyeofSol. I update them every day, so if you want to check out news on the show as well as updates, just follow the links here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review of Coraline and my 50th episode. I know it was a little different than what I usually do, but you know, I just wanted to try something a little different this time. If you liked it, you can tell me. If you didn't like it, tell me too. If you want to see the previous Sol episodes, you can see the annotations playing on the video right now, or if you want to check out my various social media sites, you can see my links to my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page there on the screen for you, as well as in the description. If you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, you can leave me a message in the YouTube comments, on any one of my social media sites, or just let me know in any way you can think of to let me know what you want to see, and I will add it to my list. Okay? Thanks again for watching everybody, and I will see you next week for a simpler review.
Pretty little sweetie girl, Melly swimming.